let's talk about fears. Let's talk about our fears. I think that if you're feeling a bit lost and you don't really know what route to go down, like to pursue goals or even what your goals are, I think a good way to kind of get in alignment with yourself is to think about what scares you the most in like goals that you could have. So for example, for me, I always wanted to work in industries where I could be by myself in a room by myself, not around people, and not being seen. Like, I just wanted to hermit away and work and do whatever I did, art, and not be seen. Because for me, the fear in being seen is a security thing. Because I feel like if I have this big spotlight on me, the more eyes there are on me, the more I'm actually in danger. Because when you're the one that everyone's noticing, you're the one that everyone can throw their projections on. You're the one that everyone can either like envy or, maybe try to tear you down, things like that. So when I inspect my fears that could stop me from any potential goals that I want, my fears actually stem from not only my upbringing in this life, but from last life. Because from my research, I've lived a life where, in a past life, one of them, because we have many, where I was heavily seen. I was more born into that, and I think that it made my ego very big in a sense. But I think in this life, having had that experience, I feel that I had a sense of, I don't like the pressure being seen. And so I'm like, oh, I just want to chill in a little room somewhere. So that's also a part of it. So I'm saying that we should look into our fears, because if we can examine them and see what it is about that we don't like, usually our fears and our weaknesses are what actually hides our biggest strengths and our biggest opportunities. I've never wanted to do anything like medical wise or anything like that, like be a doctor or anything like that. So if someone were to say, oh, okay, yeah, like go do the things you need to do to become a doctor, there's no fear that stems up in my body if it's not something that calls to you in some way. Because our fears also and our weaknesses, usually we have them because we used to be really good at something or have a big strength in something, or we're supposed to grow like a talent or gain a talent in this life. So for example, if you were someone who was really good at like architecture in like another life, and then in this life you come in and you can really kind of see how to like build things from the ground up, you can use those skills from your past life. Usually we're supposed to keep using and building on skills that we've had from before. So if you have any natural talents or anything like that you've been afraid to pursue or discouraged or anything like that, I would definitely look into that too, because we have so many past skills and talents that we used to have that in this life, because of the cosmos, kind of deterred us from to push us to then go in that direction. An example I've seen from a chart. So Pluto was in this person's third house, and Pluto represents our personal power. And so their personal power is in communication and their mind, how they think, their interest, and how they communicate. And so when I told this person this, they were surprised because they feel like they're not very good at communicating. And I do feel that tends to happen a lot of times. Where our Pluto is, or our personal power, we either don't relate or don't feel like that is, because a lot of times we do see our strengths as weaknesses because we haven't really come into our power yet and things like that. But to go back to this example, Pluto in the third house, what I see about this person, because I know them personally, is that they're actually really funny. And there's so much power in comedy. People who have comedic minds are really intelligent, because to be funny, there's so much processing that has to go into like a joke, especially if you're naturally funny. Your brain just naturally processes things, and you know how to communicate it in a way that's going to make the other people laugh. Like, that is literally a skill and a gift. So that's just one example. So I just wanted to kind of share that if you're feeling lost, to examine the things that you see as weaknesses and to examine fears that you have in achieving, like, just even overall sense of fulfillment. Like, when you think of fulfillment, what fears are brought up or what weaknesses do you think of? Then examine those. So yeah, that was it.